This is market profile and this is volume profile. And I built this template so that you can use it right now. Click the link in the description below. It's free. Don't wait because the markets won't. Normally, traders use these tools on their own. They will either use it as TPO, market profile, or they'll either use it as a volume profile. But in this video, I'm going to show you how to combine market profile with volume profile. But before we get into that, let me show you why market profile with the addition of a volume profile really changed my trading. You often hear buy low, sell high. Well, it's not that simple. I've tried that, but it lacked consistency. And after all my years in trading experience, I have figured that when you use the market sentiment and the volume profile as the auction theory in the market, when you combine the two, you then get the true movement of price action. Let me break this down to you on a simple manner. So let's take a look at volume. What is volume? Well, volume is the fundamental of any market move. In a healthy movement in the market, either up or down, volume should increase. If there is a lack of participants in that rotation, higher or lower, then it diminishes the likelihood of that move to get some more follow through, meaning that no volume or no market participants, it's kind of bringing a higher odds that that auction is coming to an end or really near at its end. One of the secrets that I figured is that if you only look at the market profile along with the current, right, this is key, the current 30-minute auction, that's when you can really get into the rhythm of the market to really pinpoint your entries or even exits for your trades, because you can see the current, this is important, the current auction in progress. And I can show you very quickly here. So this represents a 30-minute, not a daily. So you often will see other traders using the complete day for the volume, but I'm not doing that. I am using the current 30-minute profile. Super, super important, and I'll break this down a little bit later for you. Okay, so now before we move on to a real life trade example, let's go back to basics. Let's take ourselves out of the trading context and let's see how a real auction works. An auctioneer starts the auction for a banana at $1.50. There are 0 bids or bidders. Therefore, the auctioneer drops the current price of the banana to $1.45 by 5 cents. Right after, we get 2 bidders at $1.45. The auction starts. Right after, 10 more bidders come in at $1.46. After, we have 23 more bidders at $1.49. 57 more bidders at $1.50. 121 bidders at $153. So let's pause here for a second. Note that earlier there was no bidders at $1.50. However, once the auction gets going from lower prices or the so-called fair value, market participants start to get interested and join the auction. And in this case, now the current bid is above the initial ask of $1.50. It's currently sitting already at $1.53. So moving on, 86 new bidders come in even higher now at $1.62. Just after that, 62 more bidders, still lifting the bid at $1.63. Then right after, we start to see a drop in participation from 62 down to 34 bidders at 164. Right after, we only have one bidder at 165. As you can see, higher prices are now bringing in less market participants. Only one was there at 165. And this represents an auction near or at its end. So trading here is no difference. What we take from this example is this: no participants equals an auction at or near its end. So now let's take the same example of a banana, but let's use that in a real life environment. On the left, we have the market profile. I can see the sentiment. We are coming in to a previous value. So here we have a value of 5,460, okay? So 5,460, and we get accepted inside that value. Typically, you want to see a rotation back to the opposite extreme, which is in this case sits in at 55.07. Let's break a few things down. We have one time framing, which is L is obviously broken to the upside on M. So we are technically one time framing higher. There's momentum on this market, and look at here. On the actual volume profile, when we came lower into the L period, we did not get any participation whatsoever below that value area low. You can see here by this volume representing a really low market participation. So there was really no, as price came lower, there was less and less market participants, similar to our banana example where there was not many market participants at 165. Well, here, as soon as you got down to 54, 52, there was only 32 lots. So here you can say that the auction, it's not healthy to the downside. So there's less market participants, therefore we should see that rotation back up. And then in the middle point here, we then have the fair value, which is where everybody's saying, well, I'm interested, I like this price, 54.72. So upon claiming that value, we then have a trade confirmation back to the opposite extreme. And in this case, obviously sits at the value area high. So we have a very and relative small risk trade where we are claiming a value node. A lot of traders are interested in this area, and then we want to push that price to the opposite extreme. So check by having low volume, check by having a lot of market participants at this price, check by having one time framing higher, check by getting inside value, and for working on a full rotation to the opposite end. And let's just watch this play out. It's only a couple of minutes, and you can see here that just by understanding, breaking the market sentiment here on the left, by using the market profile, where is the fairest value of the whole composite day, and then breaking it down to a 30-minute by seeing exactly what is happening right now, it is the kind of last piece of the puzzle that I figured that really helped me. And you can see here price well and truly coming up to actually quite a big round figure here, so 5,500, but we actually traveled to the opposite side and we hit that untested previous value area high. And it's very nice to see a respect like this on a trade that goes the full rotation, and that's what I'm typing in. So a full value rotation. It's honestly one of those top trades that once you see it, it's really hard to undo. So again, market profile with the current 30-minute auction. And you can see, look, as price is coming higher into those higher prices, above the 500s, as you can see here, it's bringing in slightly less participants. So again, we saw the opposite down at the lows with less market participants. And now as we come to target, we also see less market participants, meaning that this auction is coming to an end also. So very crucial information there. Let's take a quick look at how to import the template onto your TradingView charts. So it's quite simple. Just click on the link that I've shared, and then you should have this pop up on your screen. So on the left, you should have market profile, and on the right, you should have the volume profile. The volume profile here will always be the 30-minute. So this is important that you don't change. Keep it on the 30-minute. So on the right, 30-minute, and on the left, also 30-minute. It's the TPO theory market profile, so it should be on the 30-minute. However, for the actual profile, you're looking at the full composite. So left market profile on the 30-minute chart, looking at the whole day. So the value area high and value area low, the point of control, the singles, the excess, the open, the close, the midpoint, it's all looking at the full day. So let's say it's the regular trading hours, it's going to be looking at the full day. Okay, this is the crucial and important information that you should be looking at. And then on the right, we are then breaking down to each section. So if I show you the existing one here now, or even from last night, you can see that when we close the market, so that will be this session here. If you wanted to go with the regular trading hours, I mean the electronic trading hours, then let's just refresh to see where we are. Right, we are right here, and I'm going to show you what's happening right now. And then on the right, let's go back to electronic trading hours, and let's just refresh to bring the price back to the middle. And there you go. So each will represent a 30-minute profile, and then here you're going to have on the right, you have the full composite for today, where you can see the high, the low, you can see fair value sitting in at 55.75 there, value area high all the way at 20, and value area low all the way down at 12. We are just below value, and here are the 30-minute candles and how it looks like currently. So this is live right now, and you can see that we are forming sort of like a round bottom here with low volume. Okay, so we are seeing a little bit of a low volume here, but the low doesn't look very good. Okay, so it goes to show that you do need a little bit more information to make your trading decision. And that trading decision here is telling us that yes, you are outside value, and yes, it kind of looks like it's potentially to go back inside value, but not just yet. We have what it's called down here. The market profile is telling us there is a poor low. We only have one V down here at the very low, meaning that the likelihood or the odds for a move back below this level are greater for this period still. So even though it is forming a round bottom, it's not like great odds of sticking, meaning that if we should get a nice retracement and then we see the volume fading to the upside on this auction here, we could potentially take a trade back down to repair this low, and at that point, if we then get excess plus low volume, we can then look for the good trade later back inside value. Okay, I hope this makes sense, and I hope just breaking it down on a real environment helps you a little bit more determine and like understand what I'm looking at here. So again, on the left, the full composite broken down, and on the right, the volume profile for each 30-minute. And if you see here, so this one, and I'm going to highlight it, so this current period here, so the high is right here. If I just enable this across both charts, you can see, and I'm going to zoom in, you can see that it does show extended here. So that A session here, it's the same as this candle. And then if you want to go back to the previous period, okay, so this period here, let's go back to it and let's move it left. You can see that then it will go to Z. So each one of these will be the volume inside each letter. Okay, so here you pretty much can see very similar information, whereby you have like the open, candle 1, candle 2, candle 3, candle 4, so each letter representing one of these 30-minute blocks. Okay, so I hope that really makes it clear, and now we have broken down pretty much all the components on the market profile as well as the volume profile. Okay, and then we also know how to import it. So just click on the link, save it, make a copy so that you can keep it to yourself, and please keep it always on the 30-minute, both of them. Okay, and when you get it, you should open it and it should be exactly like this. And again, if you have any problems, just leave us a comment down in the section below, yeah, I'll come back to you. And with that, it concludes our lesson on combining the market profile with volume profile. So remember, no market participation or volume means that it is less likely that that auction is going to get follow through. Super important. You have this template, so please use it, explore it for yourself. Any questions, always leave some comments down below in the section. And yeah, and if you are interested, because I use TradingView, but I also use a very advanced order flow software called Quantower. And you can see here that I have very similar information, but here I'm looking at a little bit even more information where I have the full day composite for value as well as volume. So I'm looking at both value for TPO, so that market sentiment, and then I'm looking at value for volume, the value area, as well as, look at that, on the right, I then have the 30-minute auction. Okay, so super important. But TradingView with that template that I created for you is very much the same, and you can get the same information from it. So very good. And yeah, and I hope that you've enjoyed this lesson. So please like, click and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. So let me know in the comments if this is something that interests you. A good overview of Quantower, then yeah, I'm happy to do a lesson for you. So yeah, thank you and goodbye.